Everyone and their mother is bearish right now in crypto. When you go to Twitter, people are insufferable. Doesn't matter if it's normie accounts or big influencers. But to me, it's important which targets are actually realistic. And that's what we're gonna look at in this video. So without any further ado, let's go. Welcome back to another episode of Philprints, your one and only stop for crypto, finance, and trading. We'll get right into the charts today, and what you're seeing right here is Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, together with my moving averages and the Philprints reversal bands. Now, what I'm gonna start with is showing you some interesting fractals, and I've actually shown you one of these in my last video. This is actually the beginning of this cycle, so basically the price action from the current bottom of this bull cycle to now. And if we zoom in, this gets even more clear as these sideways ranges are lining up very, very nicely. So if I pull this up here, you can see that we have these corrections here lining up, this correction here, and this current bottoming structure. And same goes for the tops here as well. And forgot this one right here. Now, if we go to the daily chart, we can see as well that this point in time lining up from a perspective of fractals is also price going below the golden EMA and staying there for a bit. Also, as you can see in the cycle, we've went below it multiple times. We went down below here, but retraced right after it, had a small wick down here, reaccumulated for like 1 or 2 months down below here, and this time we're below once again. So in and of itself, this is nothing special this cycle. If we go way back to 2015 onwards, we can see that the golden EMA pretty much never got a closing daily candle below it. We only got wicks. So these were very big retracements, but we never got a closing candle. And the first time we got a closing candle was pretty much the beginning of the bear market here in 2017 and 18. And apart from these small fakeouts here, the time we closed above it and stayed above it again was pretty much the beginning of a new sustained uptrend here. Once again, as we closed below it once again, we went into a downwards trend for the next months. Then again in our last bull cycle, we didn't close below it once. Only in this summer phase here, we accumulated below it, but from it we went down actually a lot. Now, why am I telling you this? Well, because many people think that as we broke and closed below the golden EMA here, this is likely the beginning of a sustained downtrend. And based on the majority of data we have for Bitcoin up to now, this is feasible. But what people tend to forget is that the most recent data is the most important. And this cycle, as I've told you, we've seen multiple closes and reaccumulations below it, without this meaning the beginning of a sustained downtrend. And in my humble opinion, this is what people are missing. Not only missing, they are purely ignoring it. They are talking about all the times we broke down, but legitimately don't look at this point in time, where, by the way, the sentiment was very bad as well. And on top of that, and you know that if you're subscribed to my channel for a bit, like 2 months ago, I called that we will head into a summer pause, and this summer pause goes till September normally. So between like May and September, price isn't doing anything. It normally goes up and down or down and up. I'll link it up here for you. This is actually very important to watch as well. This is still up to date and complements this video. So the next thing people are talking about right now is that this current point in time is pretty much an echo bubble top formation like we've had it in 2019. Many people say we're basically here and we will go down big from here. Now, this is actually a little bit too easy. You have to take the whole fractal and align it. And if we do that, you can see actually something pretty interesting. And that is basically that this is aligning very nicely as well. If we take this here, let's make this very nice, top to top, you can see that this price action here aligns very, very good. And based on this, we're basically here right before a potential bigger pump. If you're in crypto for some time, this was the infamous chi pump. Now, does this mean we have to see this pump and exactly follow the structure? No, this is not what this means, but this means that we basically cannot expect some big rally until this point in time. And surprise, surprise, this is also September, so this also complements the summer pause theory. But what this suggests as well is that the downside is not too big for the next couple of months. Which kind of downside is likely? We'll look at that in a bit, but before that, let me show you another fractal, and that is actually the whole last cycle. So bull market bottom to top, and if we align that from bottom to bottom, then you can see that based on this, we're basically at this point in time here in this cycle right now. Or as well here, as you can see. And this as well suggests the beginning of the big last leg up of this bull cycle in September. So right now, it doesn't matter if we take basically the fractal from bottom to bottom of this last cycle and this cycle, if we align this echo bubble scenario to the current local top, or if we take the price action of this current cycle and shift it to the right. In each of these scenarios, the Bitcoin timing tells us that the next move up is likely to happen at some point in September, which, as I said, also fits the summer pause theory that held true for the whole existence of Bitcoin. Of course, past performance is not indicative for future results, but I have to say the data is actually very favorable in that case. Actually, let me show you another fractal. The bull market top, or the two bull market tops of last cycle. If we say that we're basically at this point, we broke below it and we are in for some consolidation. This was actually another summer pause here where we basically went down and up. And in September, we had it to the upside. Now, if we align this once again, so at this point in time, basically, you can see that as well. We would start the next pump in September. And the question is now, if we go down further, what's actually a reasonable price target? And not some kind of doom scenario where we go to the bear market lows once again, which is, by the way, starting to go around on Twitter. Then again, I've seen price targets here, 30K. That is also very extreme in my opinion. What is possible is the blue moving average here on the weekly chart. As you can see, this is trending up. And if we elongate this, you can see if we go down at some point, we will likely scratch the 50K area. If we should go down right now, then this would mean around 47 to 46,000. And this is actually a very, very strong support. As you can see, if we connect this, this is very, very strong support. And not only that, this is actually the yearly close of 2021. Also, as you can see, after 2019 here, we went to the blue moving average, and this would have been the bottom without the Corona Black Swan event, which once again brought us to the golden EMA here, which normally doesn't happen in a bull market, or better to say during a bull market after the bear market lows. But as you can see here, during our last bull market, we did go to the blue EMA in the mid of the cycle before we got our second leg up. So once again, for a mid bull cycle correction, this blue moving average has proven to be interesting, which once again fits multiple of these fractals. Doesn't matter if it's 2019 or 2021. So based on this, going to the golden EMA once again would be, in my opinion, pretty weird. This hits right now at 35,000. For this to happen, we need some very bearish catalysts, and I actually don't know what this should be. I mean, we are looking at Mt. Gox unlocking many tokens during this month. Many people are arguing whether this will be the catalyst for us going down significantly from this point on. And in my opinion, yes, it's possible, but in that case, I don't think that we will go to 35K. I still think that then at this point, we will see ourselves at some point in the 46 and 47,000s. And what else do we have right now? The German government selling. I've talked to you about this in my last video as well. Actually, what's very funny is shortly after that, they've actually bought their Bitcoin back. So nobody really knows what's behind that. Maybe they will flip-flop some more times, nobody knows. But what's for sure is this caused a little bit of FUD in the markets. Now, what can we look at as well? For example, the crypto fear and greed index. As you can see, right now it reads 28. This means fear. This alone is not too interesting, but if we look at the fear and greed index over time, you can see that the current readings are similar to mid of September 2023. And this once again is this point in time. And as I've already said, this is very similar to the current price move based on the fractal and on the daily golden moving average. Now, what I want to emphasize is in times like these, you'll find multiple influencers talking about multiple models. And some of these models are showing that we're heading into a bear market. And some models will show you that we will go right to new all-time highs in the short term, which in my opinion, both is very unlikely. So it's not just about finding the right model, because as I just said, you will find models for every scenario that worked out every time for the last years, for the last cycles as well. But at some point, these models can break. And I've seen it over and over again. There were models that with 100% hit rate projected that the cycle top of the last cycle would be at a minimum at 100K. And as you can see, that's not what we've got. And that as well, when we look at this price action here, this looks very, very unfamiliar for Bitcoin. This doesn't look at all like you would break from this into a big uptrend. But nevertheless, this is exactly what happened. And at this point in time, I've said it already, multiple models were showing us that we will likely go down from here. So this means in the end, always keep an open mind, look at the current price action and at the most current data. Every cycle is a little bit different, has a little bit of different patterns playing out. But to me, what's most interesting is the cycle timing. And therefore I showed you the fractals. It's not about the exact moves of the fractals. It's about the point in the cycle we're in, meaning at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end. The rest is decided by the current momentum, by the current buyers, by the current sellers, by the current economical environment. And that's in the end what decides where the price will move, and not one specific model. And let me give you another example, the stock to flow model, one of the most well-known models to predict the future of Bitcoin. This model was hailed to be perfect. There was no point in time where it failed. And nevertheless, it told us that Bitcoin would go to 100K last cycle. And guess what? After the model failed, they simply adjusted the model to fit the price action after it happened, which is not too helpful at all. And there's another thing that was not possible, and that is that we got an all-time high before the halving. But it happened this cycle. And it goes on and on and on. So in the end, nobody has a crystal ball. But if you think a price action like this, for example, is not possible, or a price action like this is not possible, then what is this? If you're still looking for a great trading exchange, then I suggest you have a look at Bluffin. The great thing is there is no KYC required, and no matter where you are on the planet, you can use it without a VPN. You just sign up with your email address, top up some crypto, and then you're good to go. Not only that, if you sign up with my link, you'll get a 10% cashback on all of your trading fees. The link is down below. Don't miss out on this. This is actually a great trading exchange with a very simple user interface. Also, if you're looking for like-minded individuals, join 613 members in my Phil Prince community Telegram group. Link is down below as well. If you're not subscribed to my channel yet, please ask yourself why and do it now. You really don't want to miss any of the next videos. As always, this was not financial advice. Always do your own research. This was Phil Prince for you. Until next time, crush the markets. Goodbye.